Greetings, chess aficionados. We're going to look at two rare lines, sidelines in the Petrov, but ones that can illustrate a lot of good attacking ideas. So the first line is all the normal moves, queen d2. So instead of c6 or knight d7, queen e8 here. So the idea, well, the arrow gives it away, but even without the arrow, should probably be able to guess. Basically, black can tell that white's going to try to castle queenside, and he's immediately going to try to start attacking without developing the knight. So queen here, bishop here, and yeah, just try to jump into the attack and only later develop the knight. Oh, and by the way, this is a game from two-time world championship contender Nepo facing another super GM. And let's see what Nepo does. So this position's pretty rare. It's only been reached about 1% of the time. From here, this has been played 142,000 times, and this position's been reached only 1.6 thousand times. So pretty rare, but it's good to be prepared for rare moves, or it's good to be flexible in your thinking. If someone throws an idea that's totally non-standard, you don't want to just blindly be like, oh, well, in the other lines, I'm supposed to castle queenside here. And castling queenside is not a bad move. In fact, that's the move that's by far almost 90% of the time has been played when this position has been reached. But Nepo had a different idea. He played h4. So, yeah, black played this move, so he's going to carry forward with the idea. But the nice thing is, our king's not over there. He's just attacking a pawn. And here Nepo pushes forward with h5. So he may, in some lines, bring the rook up either to here or here. Right now the bishops are covering those squares. And yeah, his intentions are obvious. Black's trying to attack the queen side, but our king's not even over there. And we're trying to attack the king side. And black has wasted some time moving the queen over here. And these moves are not really a waste of time. And black plays h6. Now, sacrificing the bishop straight away is tempting, but it's not very good because black can easily defend. For instance, yeah, I'm showing with the arrows what our idea is. We want to mate, obviously, but black just nips that in the bud and takes a pawn as well. And now the queen can easily come back. We can't develop the bishop. Maybe we could try to support the bishop coming here, but at the very least, black can force our queen away. And yeah, after the queen, trading is obviously bad, and if the queen goes back, black can add more defense, and he's basically totally fine. So we don't want to jump the gun. So bishop d3. White now has all his pieces developed, except the rook. You could argue that this rook is kind of developed, and it will develop properly shortly. So rook e8, and here's a really nice move. So, and this shows like very flexible thinking. King f1, I gave that an exclamation point because basically there's a ton of defense over here. The king is basically totally fine. And yeah, we don't want to castle queenside. I mean, queenside because of this pawn. And that's what black wants us to do. And we don't want to castle kingside because we'd love to really lift this rook somewhere. So yeah, and king f1, yeah, the king is very safe in this position. And now bishop takes with our bishop here. Bishop takes the sacrifice is already in the cards. So black plays bishop f8, and now Nepo could have played rook h4, which is quite a good move, and driving the queen to an awkward spot. Yeah, the queen can come here. Coming here is really, really offsides. So, for instance, queen d7 and then g4. And yeah, you can see none of these pieces are developed. This piece has got one square to go to. And yeah, white just has a great attack. But instead, white plays knight d4. Let me know, by the way, if I should actually not include these arrows, because it might might be helpful to kind of see the idea right away, but obviously in chess, no one's going to be drawing arrows for you. So it might be good to think for yourself about, okay, why would he play knight d4? Although, yeah, so the threat directly straight away is to come here with the bishop and fork the king and rook. But also the knight wants to hop in here and add another attacker to all of these attackers towards the black king. So black makes rather sad move back to d7, blocking his own bishop. And yeah, these pieces are not happy campers. And now, I didn't draw any arrows here, so if you want to think about what might be a good move for white, so black has all these pieces in the middle participating, but this move blocks the light squared bishop, so rook h3. The rook does a nice lift. It's coming into the position, probably on g3. So let's see what happens. So black's desperately trying to trade pieces to get active, but white's not interested in that right now. He wants to just keep attacking, and so he does that. And black ducks into the corner. Now he does trade, and the pawn takes because the queen is kind of needed over here. And now bishop d4. Now this pawn is pinned, and the threat is queen takes h6 and then queen h7 mate. And rook e6. If queen e6, rook e3 is really good. Pinning the queen, or skewering, you could say skewering the queen and the rook. And if the queen goes back, we can trade, and mate is coming. So instead, the rook hops in, and the queen comes to f4, taking advantage of the fact that this diagonal, despite these two diagonal pieces on it, is now blocked by the rook. So white wants to hop in here and give mate on h7. So the queen comes back with the idea, if queen f5, trying to give mate, all of a sudden white loses. Check, and it's a discovered attack on the queen, so that's not playable. But simply rook e3, and after only 19 moves, black resigns here because, yeah, if rook takes rook, well, this rook was necessary to defend here, and we're just delivering mate in 2. And yeah, black doesn't really have any good moves. The engine recommends king g8, but then we just hop here anyway. Note there's now no more discovery. So say of g6, just taking the rook, hitting the queen, and yeah, queen f3 ends. Yeah, black's king side is coming under huge fire. All these pieces are good, and not to mention white structure is also good. So in the off chance that white can't checkmate in the next 10 to 15 moves, white will still have a better endgame. But anyway, black resigned on move 19 after rook e3. So that's one sideline. So the next sideline in this position is b6. So you remember the knight usually comes here, and this bishop is kind of out of play for a while. So b6, also really rare, also slightly above 1% from positions that have reached here. And yeah, it makes some sense the bishop will be useful here. It'll kind of stop, maybe put a crimp in our plans to, say, play h4, g5, g4, because then the knight will be hanging. And here, I noted in earlier videos about the dance between wanting to play here after knight d7 and not wanting to play it too early because then the knight could hop in probably to c5 and attack the bishop. Well, here, this bishop deploying this way weakens this square a bit, but we don't necessarily want to try to come in here right away. Well, first off, black still has this square under control. But yeah, say if we do this straight away, he can actually deploy. Say we go to attack this bishop, he can actually come here and then hop in here, and get rid of this knight. And actually, black's development is pretty good, and we might have hopped in here a little bit too early. So we'll just castle first and foremost, because yeah, obviously unlike the other line, the queen, our king is probably even more safe than ever, because yeah, b6 is not really the start of a pawn storm. Ideally, black would like to play like a5, b5, or maybe queen a5 and then b5, stuff like this. So here we're not really under as much danger as in some of the other lines. So bishop b7, and like in a lot of lines, we're going to delay this bishop and instead play h4, because we know we want to attack on the king side. And yeah, again, if we come in with the bishop, excuse me, if we come in with the knight, black will be able to get a pretty good position. We don't want to trade. So say we attack the bishop can get out of the way, and again, black can come in here, trade off our nice attacking knight, and yeah, have some pressure on the king side. If we come here, black may be able to get away with taking this. Maybe he shouldn't, because he's opening up his king, but we can just throw the h-pawn right away. Knight d7, knight d4 now, and here f3. So we're delaying this move just a bit more. We'd really like to get in g4 here, and f3 is just a good all-purpose move, but especially when the bishop is here. Rook e8 and bishop b5 is a good move, attacking the rook. And yeah, he could move back with the knight, but then that allows, at the very least, knight here, winning the bishop pair. But I'll show you some more interesting lines. Let's see, knight c4, f3. Okay, that's not the more interesting line. Which is the more interesting line? Oh yeah, if knight e5. So here there's some crazy attacking lines. And again, you'll almost never face this. This position here has only been reached 8 times out of, billions of Lee chess games. But this is more just to kind of get a feel for some of the potential attacks. So here we don't want to kick the knight, because then the knight can hop into a good square. And yeah, this bishop will be captured. This pawn could potentially be weak. Actually, it won't be, because the queen's defending it. Well, if knight takes, the queen can get distracted, maybe rook e8. The bishop can move somewhere. Yeah, this is not exactly what we want. So, like in some of the other lines, bishop g4 is a good move. Just kind of asking for black to play h6. So say black plays h6 here. Now we are in the position to capture. And this is a cool line. So it looks like we should play bishop d3, and this move is okay. But even better, or it looks like maybe rook h3 could be good, coming into here. But in all these lines, there's potential problems. The rook h3 line after bishop g7, bishop d3, knight blocks on g6. The h-pawn will be hanging, and the queen can take and drive our queen off. I'm not going to show you all these lines. You're welcome to look at them on your own. But actually, a really cool move here is rook d3. And the idea is if knight takes, bishop takes, yeah, there's going to be huge problems. Basically black's going to get mated. For example, rook e8. We got this very common tactical theme. And if the rook isn't taken, this rook is going to come over here. This is very subtle, but this pawn is defended. For instance, say if if takes, yeah, we looked at that. So say if instead black blocks the queen, we can go ahead and pin it. Knight comes back. The queen is hit, but the queen can just retreat, and black has no way to stop h5. And if we'd instead brought the other rook up and over, then the h-pawn would fall, and black would actually be a bit better. So that's just one example line. Oh yeah, knight f6. Yeah, we looked at this already. So if knight e5, bishop g4, and say instead rook e8, we can play f4, and there's tons and tons of lines here. It looks like maybe this bishop will be trapped, but yeah, we're really happy to sacrifice this this bishop to get a strong attack. Yeah, if pawn takes, this is going to be good. So after f4, say if yeah, I have like tons of notes on this, but knight g4, yeah, we can go after the e8 rook. If the rook moves back, all of a sudden we got a double attack, and this is just going to be deadly. And yeah, this is just going to be game over if the knight moves. We can actually even better than queen h5. We can sacrifice the rook, and yeah, this is going to be mate. So you're very rarely going to see b6. Maybe you'll never see b6, but just remember some of the basic ideas that we've seen in other lines. If anything, these lines are less important to memorize than the other lines because b6 is simply not very aggressive, and we don't have to worry about our king as much. I mean, we worry about it a little and get the rook involved, but just remember h4, potentially bringing our knight into the square or the bishop into the square, and potentially the knight into here and into here, and yeah, you should do pretty well. But again, this line is quite rare, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, now I would say that you're quite well prepared for the opposite side castling line. So next, we're going to look at a slightly different line where instead of castling kingside with bishop d7, black tries to play knight c6, bishop e6, queen d7, and castle queenside as well, hoping to, confuse us and throw us off and diffuse any potential attacks and get some attacks of his own. And if we don't know what we're doing, black could easily get equal or even a better position. But this is actually one of my favorite lines, and this has come up in a game, and I just remembered everything perfectly. And the nice thing is these ideas are not actually quite particularly hard to remember. So we're going to go over all this in the next video. Cheers.